Welcome to opening round for the Spain Origin Series event, and today we've got Hungary, Singapore, Japan and Baku to bring you on a weekend where I celebrate my birthday. Hopefully we can celebrate in style and secure a top 10 finish this weekend. So let's get into it. We are obviously dropped a point. I don't know if we'll see it, not yet. We have dropped a point in qualifying, so hopefully we can get it back this time around. So I hope you're well. Let me know how you get on as always, and let's dive in because it's race 1 in the notoriously difficult Hungary. Welcome to the Hungara Ring of Hungary for ASA WF1's first race this weekend, and on a birthday bash of a weekend as well. We've got 16 corners ahead, a 44% win chance from pole, and 17 different winners at this track. Lewis Hamilton having 7 of them. So Alonso, we're going to go downforce. We're going to go Carlos Sainz on the Herald. That is your best 2 boosts that you want to use for this track. We're going to be doing a 4-4 with both drivers. 4 soft for Alonso, 4 soft for M for Carlos Sainz. Hopefully we'll get him into P2. So can we get a good start? And Carlos Sainz from P3 into P2 already. That Herald giving great acceleration off the line, and downforce with the cornering and grip should help me start to pull away from the field as well. So we're going to cut down very early in this race, and we are going to keep an eye on what's around us. We've got soft tyres behind, but we've already got a nice 4-second buffer to them cars, and it is the Scuderia Ferrari chasing us down of Carlos Sainz. And obviously at the moment we need to create the gap. We've got to push it out to about 4 seconds for a decent pit stop, but at the minute we obviously don't have 4, so we'll worry about that soon, and the gap getting smaller as the cars behind do push. Herald's got overtaking and fuel, which will help if I need to push, and obviously downforce, cornering and grip, and a bit of tyre management in there as well. So we come down the straight, lap 3, and we are looking good as gold at the moment. Rival pushing hard in P4, trying to get past Carlos Sainz. 3 Carlos Sainz in a row in this race, and now we're going to start to increase Alonso away, and we'll just let him build up a nice probably 4 seconds, and we'll start to do the same with Carlos Sainz as well. So what have we got at the minute? 3.1, that should be about enough as we set off Carlos Sainz. We haven't used a lot of servicing at all, so we should be absolutely fine here. And let's actually push both drivers here. Let's get the gap, 3.3. Obviously car servicing absolutely fine, so we should be good to go. As Alonso in the pits now. Slight double stack potential. Yeah, or just a double stack, and we are out with Fernando. Carlos Sainz coming out in P2, so a nice easy start to these first race. That's what we needed. We dropped 1 point in qualifying, as I've mentioned, so hopefully we can make it up and the game can be kind on my birthday weekend. The age of 29, yes, 29 I shall be. You can call me old in the comments if you wish, but I tell you what, I am getting old, and there is no doubt about it. But let me know how if I get me words out, spit me teeth out, and put them back in. How old are you? Let's find out. How old are my viewers? If you're watching, let me know how old you are. I'm quite interested to see how old people are who do speak to me. So just a good to know, really, as we finish out this race. We've got Sainz closing in on Alonso. We'll start to boost him though. With Carlos Sainz, you can do a full 4 medium. Alonso, you can pretty much push for most of the 4. You might just have to conserve a tiny little bit. But we are way clear. 8 seconds of the AI in P3. And that's got Carlos Sainz behind as well. So we should be good to go now. No safety cars should ruin us at this point as Alonso goes off the track. And Alonso does come down the straight. to start the final lap. So P1 and P2 looking at a nice smooth start to this weekend. But we never count our chickens too early, as we learnt in the week on Wednesday. So we're coming around, lapping P11. You can see Carlos Sainz on the Herald sticking to the soft tyres here as well. Another great boost to use. And that sees Alonso come through for a nice easy victory. And Carlos Sainz in P2. And we are starting with a 47 point. Race number 2, and can we get another present with 47 points? We are at Singapore for the street circuit, Marina Bay, and we've got 5 kilometres ahead of us, 23 corners, strong possibility of a win from pole with 66%, and the most successful drivers here are Vettel and Hamilton, both with 5 wins apiece. And you know, if you have watched this video before, the fastest lap holder here in Singapore belongs to Kevin Magnussen of the Haas. 2018, a 1:41.9. Big shock on the fastest lap card. So here we go then. Race 2. Can we get a good start from the front again? And yet again, I've clicked the map by accident. And we are through into P1 and P2. So we're going to cut Sainz down. Now I'm going to try something different in this race. I'm going to do a 4-3 with Sainz, which is the standard strategy that I always follow. However, with Fernando Alonso, I'm going to do a 3-4, and I'm going to keep pushing as hard as I can for 3 laps, come in for the mediums, and then pretty much conserve to the end. That's the plan. Whether or not it goes to plan is a very different story. So Herald boost, acceleration, obviously a slow cornered circuit. We've got overtaking and the fuel to allow us to push. And then downforce is cornering and grip with the tyre management. And obviously this is a very grip track. Even though there's a fair few straights, you want to be using cornering and grip boosts here mainly. So Alonso out in front by quite a distance, 8.4 seconds at the moment. He has absolutely lit them tyres up and he is gone like the wind. And now after this lap coming, we shall bring him in the pits. We can do 4 laps of conserve, but that will give me absolutely no basic boosting because I'll be that short on tyres. So we're going to go for mediums. Carlos Sainz comfortably round in P2. And look at this gap at the minute, 12.1 at present. And the good thing is for Fernando, he's boosting against no traffic. Whereas later on, there will be traffic to get through. So Alonso coming through. Very good gap indeed. Nearly 15 seconds that gap's up to. And Carlos Sainz, we can now start to boost as well from there. And let's see, based on these strategies, if Carlos Sainz can catch back up with Fernando. He won't be used to pushing, that's for sure. And obviously soft tyres, end of this lap for Carlos. The main strategy here, a 4 soft, 3 soft is the best way to go on the 7 laps. Or 4 medium, 3 soft, you get the picture. But Carlos Sainz, absolutely flying, but still got a lot of time to make up. Still 6.3 seconds. And he's got a good 6 second overall pit loss to come. So this could be very interesting. And we will push Alonso at the end of this race to try and keep hold. As if Carlos Sainz was the rival. So in comes Carlos then. Can we get a good stop? 3.87 seconds. And Sainz exits the pits. And we now start the boost with Carlos as well. So what's the gap? 6 seconds. So Carlos will definitely catch back up with Alonso very quickly. And we are going to start to now boost Fernando as well. So definitely looks like the 4-3 strategy is still OP here in Singapore. Because we've caught up to Alonso very quickly. And we are starting to come through traffic. So Alonso can push these next 2 laps, no problem at all. And he's right behind some back markers who get out of the way, but Carlos Sainz is pushing very hard. And after the first race where Alonso took the win, Carlos Sainz is saying, I want the win this time. And that is making us push to the limit. And here he goes, Carlos Sainz up the inside. And Alonso fighting back down the out. Alonso up the inside again. This is fascinating by both drivers. But sadly, it does come to an end quite quickly. The nonsense is stopped. And Carlos Sainz, for the last lap, will take us round in P1. And we are lapping the field. And we can see P9 just come into the pits. So I'm pretty sure that the other team, after 7 laps, will be very interested at how we are lapping on so quickly. Maybe we've breached the budget cap. That's why our car's so powerful. Who knows? But Sainz, all over the back of Fernando. And laps up, well, nearly laps up until P9, but eventually we'll get the job done. And this is a nice, quick, easy race in Singapore. With Carlos Sainz taking the victory, one apiece now between the two drivers. And Fernando Alonso used all the tyres, all the fuel, and gets a nice 2nd place. So 47 points in race number 2. Japan equals race 3, and this can always be a GP decider because it's a very tricky track in the dry. And luckily, we have a wet qualifying for ourselves. And a good matchup. So we are going to start P2 and P3. And what sort of race we've got? We have got a wet race as well. So we're going to stick on the Hex for P3 driver. And it's going to be a tune-in for our P2 driver. And here we go. 3 to 5 laps. We're going to do a 4-3 with both drivers. Carlos Sainz with tune-in will be a very quick pit stop. So let's get to it. Can Carlos Sainz absolutely light up this damp track? And Carlos Sainz, wow, Alonso, I didn't even boost start. That's the difference between boost start right there, guys. You saw Alonso absolutely fly through past Carlos Sainz as AZW failed to boost start correctly. That's 3 out of 3 where we've either tapped the screen or we have basically not done it. But we're going to settle this down. We're going to look at Hex and Tune-In. So the 2 best wet boosts on this game. And you are about to see which boost is quicker on Conserve. Now, Sainz has a cornering, obviously, with Tune-In. Hex is just great for overtaking. So this will give you a good indication as to which one is potentially better in the race. And you can see at the minute, Carlos Sainz is really sticking with Fernando Alonso on that Tune-In. And we will basically swap these round later in the race because Sainz has a quicker pit stop. But for now, we are absolutely flying. 4.8 seconds the gap to the AI of Lando Norris. So the basically rival is not going to trouble us today. And Sainz thinking about how he can get past Fernando Alonso at his earliest opportunity. Obviously, speed helps me down the straights, but then you get Tune-In coming back through the corners. You can see we close up with Carlos Sainz, and then down the straight we do extend out. And Carlos Sainz right behind Fernando now. Will he look for a move? He won't. And we are in a comfortable 3 races here. Do let me know how you've got on as always. And as well, we are trying to grow AZW F1 Army. So if you're a player who's scoring decent points or races, a lot of races, then do let me know in the comments below so that we can get you in for the next exhibition. And of course, Black Sails are recruiting top 10, top 20 champion players for their main team. So do let me know as well if you feel you could be one of those players. So we're going to boost Carlos Sainz here. And we're going to make that pit stop. We don't need to risk anything. And we've got a crash. We have got a crash. And we're going to bring in, we've got no sign of dry weather, so we're all good for go wets. And we've got, we're going to double stack, but we'll get out absolutely fine. Make sure we pit the drivers because that would be game over. And now we are in. So a double stack is the call. you'll see Carlos Sainz will be a very quick pit stop, 2.5 seconds. And the safety car has already started moving around. And it's the red safety car for Japan. P1, P2. Everyone else now pitting as well for them wet tyres. And let's have a look at this beautiful safety car in action. Mercedes-AMG. What a car. What a car that is. But we've got a nice steady drive out in the rain now to take our time through, as the pack will basically hunch up and we'll be racing with a 2-lap sprint to the finish, everybody on the same tyres. So hopefully we don't lose out on the last corner at any point. But at the minute, we've got a little bit of potential risk, but we should be able to get a very good start on the last corner and away into the distance. So we're going to move up to medium boost as we come down the straight. And we are about to launch the last 2 laps. We've got wet weather for 20 seconds coming in. And then after that, it will be dries, which is the third weather we can see. So here we go. We're about to start. And can we both get a good start? We're both boosting. Lando Norris looking in the mirrors, but he won't be good enough this time around. And we do navigate this start absolutely perfect. Carlos Sainz all over the back of Fernando Alonso, looks for a move, goes wide. And we should be home and hosed. Alonso will start to disappear on the straight, which is now pulling the gap. So you can see that gap, because of Hex, slows for the corner. And look at that, Sainz well into the corner with that cornering boost. And the gap now 1 second. So Alonso pushing onwards here on the last lap. It's going to be 2 wins for Alonso and 1 for Carlos Sainz. And Carlos Sainz, not over yet. He's not had enough of this. He's got the gap down to 0.8. But it's not going to be. It's going to be a consolation, because he is going to have to settle team orders for P2. And Fernando Alonso, safety car avoided any drama. It's P1 for Alonso. Carlos Sainz crosses in P2. And we score a third lot of 47 points. Welcome, race number 4, Baku. And we've got 20 corners ahead, a 6-kilometre track, and hopefully no tyre blowouts. Remember last few years ago, Max Verstappen on the home straight with a big blowout, and Lewis Hamilton famously missing that first corner as well. So we're going to start soft and softs with both driver, and we're going to put dead fast on driver 1, and Carlos Sainz will also be going for firework for overtake and speed. So can we get a good start? Furthest Sainz has been back for a while, P2, P5. Alonso will absolutely fly into the lead off the first corner, because P2 is the better line. And there you go, Alonso, oh my god, and Carlos Sainz is straight through as well. So we are birthday gifts from Hutch, because that is 4 potential easy races in the first 4 opening rounds. But that could all change in the final 4. We never know. So we've still got to basically win this race though. So Alonso, we're going to do a 3-2-3. Sainz, we're going to do a 3-2-3. But we're going to just cruise around and make sure that we don't do anything absolutely stupid or double stack when we don't have to. Because you never know when Hutch will release a safety car, or when the Gotifi puts it in the wall. So Alonso carries through in P1, and that dead fast giving us some extra fuel, whereas Carlos Sainz got the speed and overtake and a bit of acceleration, whereas Alonso dead fast, obviously the speed, fuel and tyre management as well. Carlos Sainz under pressure from the rival Carlos Sainz, so we're just going to medium boost that and get away. And you can see already, nice bit of straight line speed there. And we're going to cut down in this section. Very tough track to overtake through here. Going to cut both drivers down. And we're going to just make sure we create the gap here What is that gap? 3 seconds. And then we're going to boost now with Carlos Sainz. So we've got a decent gap. We'll come out plenty enough ahead. And Alonso fires into that pits. Need a good stop. 2.2 we're going to have a guess at. Oh, it's well more than that. I thought it'd be, I don't know why I thought it'd be so low. But Alonso comes back out and it'll be a 2-lap boost. And then Sainz as well will now 2-lap boost. We'll come back for some mediums and hopefully that will be job done. The rival, hard and softs. Hopefully that hard tyre stays in front a corner or two longer. And that will be all right. Because we've got a good 6-second gap now to rival 3 and 4. And it's going to be, hopefully, smooth sailing. As Alonso coming round will now come to mediums. So mediums will give us that buffer in case we do need it. But obviously we should be hopefully okay in this race. Or we'll be able to react quick enough anyway. But yeah, make sure you let me know how you're getting on. We've got so many players in my club who are doing so good, and also in the Discord server. Make sure you're in the Discord server. The link is below this video in the description, so make sure you're in there and you can get live strategies, talk with the team, any updates. And we are stupidly double stacking here for absolutely no reason, and that's not what you want to do. Can we get ahead of the softs? We can't, but that firework should get us past on the home straight. So, 2.5 laps to go. And Alonso now starting to lap the field. Carlos Sainz sitting behind Sainz on that soft tyre. And it goes wide, but we can't make amends. And now Alonso will start pretty much have 2 laps remaining. Carlos Sainz is past Carlos Sainz, which sounds weird because there's Carlos Sainz everywhere. But we are up to P2, and that firework will absolutely fling us down the straight. And we are absolutely tearing it up on this birthday weekend. Birthday officially is Sunday, but I don't want to get older. But either way, we are striving on to success. 1.5 laps to go. And I do wish you all the very best with your weekend running. What is your aims towards the end of the season? Let me know in the comments. What do you want to do? Do you want to reach 2,500 races? Do you want to finish top 10 champion? Do you want to max out your flags? Do you want to get to Series 12? Let me know. I'm interested to hear from you as to what your goals are for the next few months up until the new release. And we are about to finish off nice and easy. We have lapped up to P8. Or nearly P8 as Alonso comes down the home straight. And that is 24 points for Alonso. We'll have 23 coming back from a nearly out of fuel Carlos Sainz. And then we will see where that currently sits us and what the state of play is in our flag group at the moment. Rival gets P3 and P4. I don't think it was a real person. I believe it was a bot. But we are 4 races through. Nice, easy 4 lots of 47. And let's see where that puts us in champion. Where do we sit? Currently 24th. We've had 4 lots of 47 points. In our group, looking ahead, couple of 3-7-6 players. And let's have a look at their fastest lap. 23.0, which is a very good lap this weekend. And a 24.5, a lot slower. But there's plenty of more fastest laps to come. And plenty more competition as well. So appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for joining in. And if you haven't already, do drop me a subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next one.